Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Shri Gangai Nathay Namah. Jai Shri Gurudev, Jai Shri Dada Gurudev. Jai Shri Gurudev to all of you, those who are watching this session. Let's start our session today. Okay, first of all, as we start with introduction to Siddha Yoga, and then we continue our session with the books Gurudev have written. Gurudev has written two books. First, we completed a religious revolution in the world, total 11 sessions or 12 sessions, I guess, and then we started Prophecies from the Holy Bible. This is the second session, and this is very important book. If you want more detail about Siddha Yoga, then religious revolution book, you have to watch those sessions, and more in-depth and detailed understanding of Siddha Yoga will come with this particular book. Okay, so yesterday we started, and today we will start from preface. We did introduction. So today we'll start with the introduction to this book and then the first chapter. Okay, let's see how much we can control complete in half an hour, because this session we are keeping short session 30 minutes, so that you can follow all the sessions properly. Siddha Yoga is Gurudev's Ramlal ji Siyag. Siddha Yoga is empowered yoga, is a complete yoga. Every other yoga is included in the Siddha Yoga. Gurudev Shri Ramlal ji Siyag gives you Sanjeevani mantra. He initiates you into the Siddha Yoga and gives you the divine mantra, Sanjeevani mantra. Once you hear the Sanjeevani mantra in his voice, you need to chant that mantra continuously as much as possible, and you need to do 2 times meditation on his picture. We have detailed session on why I should meditate on a human picture. Guru is God. So detailed session is there. You can watch those sessions of religious revolution in the world, and you will have clear understanding about Guru Siyag Siddha Yoga. Initial points. So this is basic. Guru Siyag Siddha Yoga, you can get initiated from anywhere in the world. Just search the mantra, Sanjeevani mantra, which we will play in the end of the session also. Once you hear that mantra, take out the printout of the Gurudev's picture on the internet, Gurudev Ramlal ji Siyag picture and Baba Gangai ji picture together. Keep in front of you, ask for 15 minutes of meditation, and keep chanting the mantra during the meditation also, and after the meditation or before the meditation, as much as you can chant. Sit for only 15 minutes of meditation. You will see, you will sit for only 15 minutes of meditation. So that is how you know that Guru is capable and is with you, is within you. Let's start our today's work, Prophecies from the Holy Bible. Introduction. Religious books outnumber all other works, and therefore they are read and studied in large numbers also. But even then, disquietude pervades in the whole world. On the other hand, all efforts necessary to establish peace have been made by the professors of the physical science, who too have been completely unsuccessful. They have spent limitless amount of money on manufacturing destructive weapons, and now almost the same amount will be required to destroy them. Whether these lethal weapons will at all be destroyed is an important question. Estimates of such time, estimates of time and money likely to be spent on destruction of such weapons lead to the only inference that they will be used for the purpose for which they were made. Fear-based peace established through lethal weapons will prove to be the cause of complete ruin. One of the interpretation of religion that appears to me to be correct is that the proof of religion does not depend on any book, but on the truthfulness of the composition by the man. Books are the outflow, the result of the compositions by men. They are the authors of the books. One thing is clear from it, that unless the divine science to read the human body in the book form appears in the world, peace will remain a total impossibility. impossibility. We find that all intellectual efforts to establish peace in the world have failed. At present, the mankind is frightened of the weapons that the scientists have invented and got them manufactured for their security and peace. All are trying to destroy them at the earliest possible. But will the tempest of change that has already started in the world allow them to do so? The pace of polarization in the name of religion and caste that has begun will be continuously accelerated. It is possible that this narrow polarization may become the principal cause of total destruction of the world. As long as all religions of the world do not accept Vedantic philosophy, all this is Brahman, all this is Brahma, as a whole truth. In Hindi, we call it Sarva Khalvidam Brahm. This whole world is a Brahman, is one. In every human being, there is that Brahman who is present. So we do not look them on the differences of their religion, their color, their language, or any other of recognition by which we identify people, but we Vedantic uh, Indian Vedant's philosophy says we all are one from within. We all are Brahmans from within. So on that philosophy, Gurudev works, and this whatever he has written in this book is absolutely his deep thoughts. I am just reading it out, but it is what he is speaking. He is saying this to the world. So please consider what I am speaking is his language, is his words. Okay, as a whole truth. Okay, as long as all religions of the world do not accept Vedantic philosophy, all this is Brahman as a whole truth, and start behaving accordingly. Till then, peace will remain a matter of imagination. This is a great difference between profession and practice of religious preceptors from all religions. They are claiming acceptance of the basic principle of all religions is a mere farce. Worldly power has been classified broadly as of three types: money power, man power, and mental power or mind power. Mental power and mind power, you can call it. In the present time, the first two powers are fully exploited in the world. Money power is utilizing manpower as a shield, as an armor. Thus, we find the wealth, Maya, is having an absolute authority in the world. This reminds me of few lines of Rajasthani poem Lichmi, that means goddess Lakshmi, authored by my friend. So in Hindi, I will read it out first, and then we will also read in English. So I have a Hindi book also along with me, because it is easy for me to write Hindi in Hindi rather than in English. हद हुक्म हेकड़ी आ लिच्छमी मिनखा ने नाच नचावे है, कोई भूख मरे कोई मौज करे, कोई नर माटी बन जावे है। आ लिच्छमी बड़ी बावली गेली मिनख जीवता खावे है। That means it means that Lichmi, goddess of wealth, by extreme limits of her commands and stubbornness, makes people dance to her tune. She forces few to starve, enables many others to lead luxurious life, and some are raised to the ground by her. She is so mad and foolish that she devours living human beings. Spiritual people of the world consider mere eulogy of the past, only in the name of religion, as the end. Whereas God, according to the philosophy of religion of the Hindus, is a matter of direct realization and seeing Him. Mental power or mind power, which our philosophy considers to be supreme, has almost disappeared from the world. India has been worshipped by the world since time immemorial for its mental or mind power, and with its help, India will once again enter into her golden age. Maharishi Shri Aurobindo had in this behalf said, Western people have taken their physical lives to their climax. They now need such a thing which is not within their power to give, because that can be achieved only by progress of the soul and inner consciousness. India will give a lead in this behalf. Mahayogi Shri Aurobindo has gone further to clarify state about India's future, that India shall rise to offer to the world the ideal of yoga. It is through yoga that India shall attain her freedom, unity, and eminence. Yoga will provide her with protection also. The only aim of my efforts to write this book, Gurudev says, the only aim of my efforts to write this book is to implore with love all the all the inquisitive people of the world who are willing to learn this book, like all others, will not help in realizing and perceiving the divine knowledge, which can be obtained only by reading the self. So this book will not help you to realize yourself, but realize. Uh, uh, he says this book, like others, will not help in realizing or perceiving the God, but the divine knowledge. But you will read your body, your own self, and you will get the divine knowledge as it resides within the human body. Lord Krishna in Gita has said about the same thing. He says, ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां हृदेशः अर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि yantraruढ़ani mayaya, means the Lord abides in the hearts of all beings, O Arjuna, causing them to turn around by his power as if they were mounted on a machine. In the Holy Bible, in 2 Corinthians, we find almost a similar saying, and that agreement hath the temple of God with idols. For ye are the temple of the living God, as God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. So God is within us. It says Bhagavad Gita, and the similar thing is said by in Holy Bible in 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 16. So similarities between Gita and Bible. Almost all prophets of the world, Jesus Christ included, have said in one voice that the last decade of the 20th century will bring about unparalleled revolutionary changes in the world. All of them have made similar prophecies that by 21st century India will enter into her golden age once again, and she will establish herself as the leader of the world in the field of religion and religious rites. It will make no difference whether the distrustful atheists of the world pay any heed or ignore the declaration made in the Holy Bible about the frightening worldwide massacre before close of the 20th century. Has death ever spared anybody? Wheel of time has been swallowing one and all since time immemorial, and it shall keep doing so. The Holy Soul, Jesus Christ, had made a very piteous call for protection of his life, but could be, even then, save himself? Addressing his disciples, Jesus had groaned, My soul is sorrowful, even unto death. Wait here, watch and pray. And at last his words were words of resignation. Let thy will, not mine, be done. About the hazardous conditions that would be prevailing at that time, we have these prophetic assertions. There should be great tribulations then, kind of which had neither been there since the beginning of the world to the present time, and nor shall they be there even again. Okay, next three lines, 2.5 lines in this book is written, but if you read this book, you will come across these lines. It is written, no life would be saved unless the days are shortened and shortened. They would be for his chosen ones. This is the translation from, because it is a translation from the Hindi book. So in Hindi book, the word comes ghataya. Ghataya, it comes the shorten in, if we direct translate it into the English. Ghataya means small, shorten. But the manner which that word is used in the Hindi book is not to shorten something, but it is to be happen something in the future. So instead of this, no life would be saved unless the days are shortened and shortened, the lines should be, translation should be, if those days would not happen, then no one would be saved. So those days would happen to save his loved ones. Okay. Okay, now next idea about the terrible pain that the humanity would suffer in those days can be had from these lines from the Holy Bible. People in those days, again there is a change in the translation. What is written in this book? People in those days will search for death, but find her they will not. So the people would wish for death, but they won't find it. They won't find it. They will yearn for death, but death would run away from them. So little bit of translation sometimes needs to be clarified. So I have just made a correction over here. So if you read this book, be understand what Gurudev wants to say over here. Okay. It need hardly to be said that great terror does the above description from the Bible strike in the hearts of the people. A careful look at the real condition of the followers of the Holy Bible will give an idea that the time of total destruction is not far off now. How cleverly have all happenings in religious places been concealed under a veil. God people are sinners. If you accept to find perfect or almost perfect people amongst them, you simply will be disappointed. This is the state of the world generally, and it is so because of the properties of Kali Yuga. I wish to say this much only, that God, by His gracious favors, bless all righteous persons with positive ideas, the world over with virtuous intelligence, as those with the negative ideas have neither even reformed themselves, nor shall they ever improve. Ravana, Kansa, Duryodhana, and many others are the examples that we have come across in all respective ages. This introduction we have read in actual I may not be very good in reading the books, but the idea he is giving in the introduction about okay, the idea he is giving about the two things. First, Indian philosophy, Vedant, will be the main philosophy, should be the accepted in the worldwide, because we believe in all humans equality. That means everyone is he lives, he, the God, the Brahman is present in everybody's heart. So all is Brahman. This is the first thing. And this is also said into the Gita also, that God, is present in the hearts and he controls everyone from the heart. Similar thing Jesus says, that this body, the man's body, is the temple of God, and that is how he walk and eat and be with his disciples. So he's trying to give the cue about, in introduction, that whatever is said in the Bible by the Jesus is Indian philosophy. So, if you want to understand the Jesus or the Bible in exact manner, you have to understand the Indian philosophy. But by merely reading the books, there are a lot of books on Indian philosophy. This is also a book on Indian philosophy and yoga. But by reading the books, you cannot understand the Bible. If even we further say that it is from Jesus, what Jesus is saying is from the adapted from the Indian Vedic philosophy, even then you will not be understand. If you complete read about our philosophy, Indian philosophy, you will not be able to understand the Jesus, what he wants to say in the Bible. What is the way out to understand? You have to awaken him from inside. That the initiation, the Holy Ghost, as said by the Jesus. So if you really want to know about Jesus, about Christ, then you have to come into the Siddha Yoga. Guru Siyag Siddha Yoga gives you the platform to way to go inside, to awaken yourself and realize your true self. Once you on the path of spirituality, your inner knowledge, once you get that inner knowledge, you will be able to decode exactly what Jesus wanted to say at that time, and what exactly prophecies are, and how Jesus is telling everyone about kingdom of God. I will be with you, I will drink with you, eat with you, I will walk along with you. So all these things you can only understand once you are awakened. The books, no matter which book we are reading, every book is a holy book and respectable. But to understand that, you need to go inside. And the Yoga, Siddha Yoga, is only the way out. And Guru Siyag Siddha Yoga is the perfect way to understand, to realize yourself. This is what is given in the introduction. Further on, he has explained that the spiritual masters have distanced themselves from the from the physical science. They made the chasm between them has broadened even more with the time, because of disagreement with the with the physical science. That is what we will read out further into when we go into the chapter 1. Why this misunderstanding between the physical science and the spiritual science? People, those who are science, those who follow science, they call the religious people blindfolded. They say you cannot see the God whom you do not see. How you can waste your time? How you can go to the church? How you can go to the temples and all? They do not believe on spiritual science. It is not their fault, actually. It is fault of those who are spiritual masters from the long time. They have created this chasm, they have created this difference between physical science. They kept on telling them, you are wrong, and we are right. But they were not able to give them the proper introduction of spirituality, and to tell them how to realize the God. And because the science is result oriented, it is in the laboratory, you put something, you get something, and you have the result. So people in the world started believing in those things, those are present in the laboratory and they can see the result. But the spiritual master were not able to make them realize that God is also the matter of realization. As we see the results in the laboratory, we can see realize God within us. We are the laboratory. This is exactly what Jesus says. The body, this is exactly the word of the Jesus is. And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of living God, as God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. So this is matter of realization. This statement only you can realize once you are awakened. Your soul is awakened. You have proper spiritual master who can awaken you, and it is not everyone, every guru or every master can do. The same thing is given in the Gita. That is why I am saying something which is written way back thousands years back in the Gita, in the Vedic philosophy, that the God resides in the hearts of the human and he controls everyone from the heart. The kingdom of the God, which is given in the statement given in the Bible. So something which is already given thousands years back in the Vedic philosophy, and the same thing comes in the Bible. So that is why I said it is adapted from the vast Indian philosophy. But unfortunately, reading the Indian philosophy will not help you. Even those masters who are reading the philosophy, Vedantas, and reading the Holy Bible books and other books, holy books, which describe the human, which describes the soul, the God, they cannot make you realize about the God can be realized. Whatever written is in the books or Holy Bible, whatever is the written, you can realize that there is no process, and they know it. So the people, those are waiting for, they listen to those spiritual masters. Now spiritual master know that they do not know the way to understand, to make realize God. So they are helpless actually. So what they did, they actually initiated the war between the physical science to divert the people from the main topic, that God is a matter of realization. They diverted it actually. The blame they start putting on the physical science. So people, they were wise enough to see they are not able to show us realization of God. And the science we see, medical science we see, we have diseases, we have medicines, we have science is creating lot of things. It's maximum they have created. Everybody, whatever we need we need ACs. If there is warm, we need warmness, we have a machine. We need cold, we have a machine. For everything we have a machine. Everything we have a machine. So science has developed, and people utilizing these things and believing the science is God. Now people say science is God. Gurudev mentioned this thing. When somebody says science is God, Gurudev says science is not God. God is science, but you do not know about it, and it is not your fault. It is fault of spiritual preceptor or preceptors or spiritual masters. Those were not able to make you realize that God is a matter of realization. So for you, science has become the God. But Gurudev says, I am here to make you realize that God is a matter of realization and God is science. This is the entire purpose and the message in the start by Shree Gurudev Ramlal ji Siyag. Okay. So we will start. This is 8:45, almost 15. We keep the session for half an hour. It's very important, because chapters, when we will read, it's not about only reading now. From here onwards, it's not about reading. Just I will not read the books, but I'll put my changes, my experiences in Siddha Yoga, my realization, whatever I have realized, whatever I understand. And as in this book, Gurudev already has written that things will repeat, as it is important, because every chapter is interrelated. So there will be many things we will be repeating, so for the better understanding only. In the next chapter, the idea today, with the introduction you have now, we further get deeper into it, and we will read the shloks from the Gita, whichever is given, and verses from the Bible or other books, whatever possible, and what are the changes now going on. I am as an example, or consider me as a specimen of Siddha Yoga, something which has undergone an experiment of Siddha Yoga in the laboratory of my own body, and scientist is my God, my Gurudev, Ramlal ji Siyag. So what experiment is going on, what are the results so far I have seen, I'll share with you. Okay, so tomorrow we will start Prophecies from the Holy Bible, chapter 1. Now I'll play a video, Gurudev's video. You can listen his divine mantra. And if you want to have this video, you can search on internet.
What does yoga mean? Yoga means a union of the soul with God or the universal consciousness force. What are the benefits of Siddha Yoga? Siddha Yoga heals, cures or frees the body from any physical illness, aids various forms of cancers, diabetes, arthritis, asthma, and even genetic disease like hemophilia. In the case of disease such as AIDS, which attacks the entire body, the patient may experience internal kriyas like sensation or heat, electricity or tingling. According to Siddha Yoga philosophy, the divine power awakened by the enlightened Guru gets transmitted through his blissful voice to the listeners, irrespective of language spoken by the Guru. This divine power transmissions occurs smoothly and remain unaffected by the language being used. A regular practice of Siddha Yoga strengthens the immune system. The Kundalini acts as a protective shield of the immune system and wards off the onslaught or recurrence of any disease. Impact of Kundalini awakening. The Kundalini makes the practitioner perform kriyas that are specific to his needs. With this cleaning, the practitioner is cured of all kinds of chronic and even terminal disease such as HIV, AIDS, cancer, arthritis, etc. and genetic disorder like hemophilia. Mental application too are completely cured and stress is completely relieved. Cling, Krishna, cling, 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 cling, Krishna, cling.
So this is the divine mantra, Sanjeevani mantra, which the disciple of Siddha Yoga must chant as much as possible and must meditate 2 times in the morning and in the evening on the foot of Gurudev. Okay, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we will meet at 8:15 probably, and we will continue the first chapter of Gurudev's book, Prophecies from the Holy Bible. Till then, Jai Shri Gurudev, Jai Shri Dada Gurudev.